Alright, Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Back with another GMS on the go. This is the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. I'm Brother Nakam.
Brother Rizah.
And before we go any further, we like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Next up, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone from teaching us this truth according to the Bible who rule well. And a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth from righteousness and sincerity to the best of their ability. You know, me and our brother Azza was able to get up today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, which His name means He is or He exists. And Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son. That's what the word calls Jesus, which His name is He says He delivers. And we're just going to get into a Lord willing edifying lesson today on going to the house of mourning. You know, because that's the mind state that you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans should be in. You should be in the house of mourning, sighing and crying until Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. So without further ado, we're just going to get into this edifying lesson.
And this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting.
That's right. And you got the true men of the Lord, you know, the elect, Lord willing, would be some men in the house of mourning. You know, while we're sighing and crying unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai to come back and deliver us, to get us out of this captivity from being under this devil, this so-called white man. You see the rest of our people, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, in the house of feasting, meaning that party spirit. You know, before this coronavirus came to pass, you will see the majority of our people, you know, going to clubs every weekend, going to mall, you know, going to the movies, going out on dates, just doing everything, trying to have as much fun as they can. And now that this coronavirus has come to pass, you still got our people out here in the house of feasting, partying, trying to live it up, when this is not the time for that. You know, so our people should be in a state of mourning rather than being in the house of feasting, that party spirit. And it's going to go into why.
This is Ecclesiastes 7:2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men.
That's right. So being in that party spirit, going to the house of feasting, that's the end of all men. You see, because that's when you end up getting put to death. That's when the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, will bring judgment upon you. Because you're in the wrong state of mind, when you should really be mourning and sighing and crying unto them. Again, to come back and deliver us, to come back and get us up out of this captivity. You know, because it's nothing but wickedness going on the face of the earth. You got police, you know, constantly shooting Jake down in the streets. We're the first ones fired, last ones hired, living in the ghettos and the slums. You got chemtrails being sprayed in the air out of these planes. Animals locked up in cages. It's nothing but all manner of wickedness going on. So we should be in a state of mourning rather than being in a state of feasting, that party spirit.
Mm-hmm. And it reads, jumping down, for in the living will lay it to his heart.
That's right. In the living, being the ones who have the own wisdom, knowledge, and understand these scriptures, because that's what makes you live, which is the elected nation of Israel. They're going to lay it to their heart, meaning their mind. They're going to know, I don't need to be in that house of feasting, that party spirit. Let me go to the house of mourning. Because going to the house of feasting, that's the end of all men. I'm going to end up getting put to death.
Mm-hmm. You're going to realize that we are put in America to serve out a punishment. Scriptures talk about how we are yet this day in our captivity, you know? And us being subject to payments, you know? We're catching hell here in America, you know? We're a proverb and a reproach. You see?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to really be happy about, but what we need to do is cry unto the Lord.
That's right.
This is Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning.
That's right. And again, that word heart goes back to the Hebrew word laws, means your mind. And the wise is being the elect of the nation of Israel. So the elect of the nation of Israel, their mind state is in the house of mourning. Their mind state is sighing and crying unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, spiritually.
That's right. And it reads, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth.
But the mind of fools, which when you look into that word fool, it goes back to meatball, blockhead, imbecile, jackass, dunce, nincompoop, you name it. And that fits 2/3 of our people, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. And the reason why they're fools is because their mind state is in the house of mirth. Again, they're in that party spirit, wanting to live life to the best, to the fullest. You know, wanting to try to have as much fun as they can. when that's not the times that our people should be in. You know, we're in a pandemic right now. You know, this coronavirus, this COVID-19. You got a coin shortage, you know, going on right now, which is leading up to the mark of the beast, the RFID chip. You got a famine of food and thirst coming to pass. So this is most definitely not the time to be in a party spirit. This is the time to be mourning and signing according to Yahweh Shema Shah, because things are going to get worse out here. This devil E, this so-called white man, is getting ready to come down with a great wrath because he knows that they have a short time.
That's right. You want me to read it again? Or you want me to get the next precept?
You can read it again and give me Ecclesiastes 1:3-1.
Okay. This is Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth.
That's right.
This is Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
That's right. So to everything there is a season and there's a time to every purpose under the heaven. Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
That's right. So right now is not the time for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to be laughing and dancing. This is not the time for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to be partying it up, to be living it up. This is the time for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to be weeping and mourning. You know? And that's what the true men of the Lord, the elect, Lord willing, be some of men are doing right now. We're weeping and mourning unto Yahweh Shema Shah, because we want to be freed from this captivity. You know? We're tired of working for this devil. You know? We're tired of these defiled bodies that we're in. We're tired of catching hell. The time of laughing and dancing is going to come in the kingdom, where we can sit back and actually relax, where we can enjoy our women, our family, where we can actually enjoy life. But until that time actually comes, this is the time that you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans should be weeping in the morning, crying unto Yahweh Shema Shah to come back and get us, to save us.
Yeah, I got something.
And when you get yours, get me on James 4:9.
Yeah, I'll get that first.
You get yours if you want. Bible
I got you. This is book of James, chapter 4, verse 9, and it reads, let your
and while the brothers getting that, you know, because like I said, you see the majority of our people are here, you know, just trying to live life, you know, living their best life, and you know our people really not living their best life. You know,
they think they are.
Exactly, but they think they are. You can't be living your best life, you know, having to go to work every single day, slaving, just trying to get 80 hours. You can't be living your best life, you know, having to pay rent,
having a defiled woman.
Exactly.
You know, eating GMO foods all day long,
drinking fluoride water,
being bloated, you know, from eating so much. You know,
that's right.
Having inflammation, all that. You know, the damn air polluted. You know, this ain't our best life. You know, this is a time for us to reflect on the wrongs that we have done.
That's right, bro.
This is James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep.
That's right. It said be afflicted. And when you're being afflicted, that means you're catching hell. You see, and the brothers is in this truth, the elect, we're not being afflicted. We're not catching hell for the wrong things, for wickedness, like the majority of our people, the 2/3. We're being afflicted and we're catching hell for righteousness, for this truth. You know, and that's exactly why we're mourning and weeping unto Yahweh Shema Shah, because we're catching hell, because we're being afflicted for the righteousness, this truth.
Scripture said, he that turneth away from evil maketh himself a prey.
That's right.
This is James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy to heaviness.
That's right. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy, your happiness, basically, into heaviness. You know, because at one point in time, brothers, we was in that same mind state. You know, we was in a mind state of thinking that life was good, everything was good. You know, trying to make it here in America. But once we found out this truth, you know, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, by the way, the apostles, we realized that everything isn't everything, that everything isn't all good. You know, and the God of the Bible is telling us to mourn unto Him, because this isn't life that we're living. This is hell. And it's only going to get worse in these last and evil days.
That's right. I'll look at one more real quick.
Okay.
This is We'll get this one. This is St. John 16:20. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. So right now, we, the sincere believers of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, we're, weeping, we're lamenting, we're in that lowest state until Yahweh B'Shem Shai begins to exalt us, and right now, we see the fall of our enemy. Our enemies are fallen. So we're starting to rejoice, and the tables are being turned upside down. We know Jacob's going to be partying, that party spirit, until the Lord comes back, but ultimately they're going to be destroyed, so it's better to go to the house of mourning now,
That's right.
Or you're just going to have to mourn later when Yahweh Shai makes his second return, or during the time of Jacob's trouble.
That's right. That's right.
You can close it out.
Lord willing, the elect of the nation of Israel is edified, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. Before we go any further, we like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son,
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, and Karkwadash.
Next up, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, from teaching us this truth according to the Bible, who rule well, and a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth from righteousness and sincerity to the best ability. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom.